the rural areas as well and add value to an overall knowledge-based economy?
Right. So I think IT industry is probably one industry that has tremendous potential to have, all inclusive growth in all parts of the country. It doesn't require a lot of infrastructure, right? As long as you have good connectivity and decent ways to get there, and the talent is there, you can start an IT company almost anywhere, right? You can start a BPO company almost anywhere. So as the economy picks up, I think we have potential to have regional IT parks, if you like, right? And I think if you have a strategy to build good knowledge cities or IT parks in each of key regional centers, we can certainly attract companies, we can attract a lot more capacity building, education providers, and we can build a self-sustaining kind of system in each of the provinces in Sri Lanka. And this has happened if you look at India, now companies are going from what they call tier 1 cities to tier 2 to tier 3 cities. They're getting to more and more rural part of India to find talent, and by doing so they're also building townships.
What do you mean by tier 1, tier 2, tier 3?
It's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities in India predominantly based on their cost and infrastructure. So tier 1 city would be something like Bangalore. Tier 3 city might something like Coimbatore, which is really a little far out. You have some good talent, but the infrastructure and other things hasn't really developed yet.
So in terms of infrastructure and talent, you sort of grade the cities.
Correct.
And like when you said that it is a good way to have IT parks and knowledge centers in each province or even different areas, is it only a plan that is envisioned, or is active steps happening to reach this vision?
Right. There are some initiatives that the government has taken. Government is taking. I think I've seen some plans from the BOI. Even recently, I think as of last week, there were some statements around education, setting up education parks, which are great ideas, and I think great thoughts. I think that whole vision is there, and I think hopefully it will turn into a reality soon, that we can start seeing some of these things coming up. And obviously, private sector will collaborate, and there's a whole push to really look at North and East as a potential hub for IT, and there are a lot of activity going on in collaboration with the government and the private sector to look at those possibilities. And I think education will probably lead a lot of this stuff, and once we start building the capacity, and then the industry will follow.
What are the active steps that have been taken in the North and the East, especially with respect to IT?
Right. So there are several things. I think probably very early stages there has been some incentive schemes for companies to go and set up their education providers to go and set up their as we speak, there are some work being done by the Board of Investment to take IT BPO industry to North and East. So there are many initiatives going on right now. I think probably too early for us to look at results of that yet. I think there's certainly the right thought and the right focus is there. We hope that it will start turning into real business soon.
So actually that's a very comprehensive overview of the IT industry, IT BPO industry as well, keeping the target in the short term, that is 2012, $1 billion US, is it?
Right.
And that will also increase the workforce. And then Mr. Madu Ratnayake also spoke about the challenges in terms of building capacity, and also the fact that there have been a negative image in terms of investment that Sri Lanka has really going through because of the conflict. And now it's because after it's a conflict, the need to brand Sri Lanka, and also the incentive schemes that even the government should come up with to make it a more conducive investment culture for other investors to look at favorably as well. So according to him, there are things that the government has taken a lot of initiatives in terms of what ICTA does as in East Sri Lanka and the East strategy, but there can also be so many things to be addressed. But as of now, we can't talk about all the plans because it's a process that has started, and critical input has to come into the process for it to reach the vision that they want to reach in terms of making IT BPO industry also maybe the #1 forex earner later on right now it's a 5th largest forex earner.
That's right.
So it's actually a lot of things to look forward to, because as he elaborated, the potential in the IT BPO industry is great, and he thinks in Asia it is Sri Lanka which has the greatest potential to grow in terms of IT BPO after India. And with respect to India, he thinks it's a very collaborative relationship we should have, a learning and growing relationship, and also look at other countries like Philippines, who were like 5 years ago IT BPO industries had what we were having now. So it's a learning curve, it's a growth curve. And also for all the young entrepreneurs out there, if you have an idea for the next Facebook, if you have an idea for the next Google, don't give up. Sri Lanka will start hopefully these knowledge centers and IT parks and these provincial strategies that you spoke about. So we have hope, right?
Absolutely, we have a lot of hope.
So on that note, Mr. Madu Ratnayake, let's conclude the discussion tonight. Once again, we were speaking to Mr. Madu Ratnayake, Vice President of Virtusa, and also the General Secretary of SLASCOM. So good night to you.
Good night. Thank you very much for having me here.
And good night, and thank you for watching us tonight. Have a lovely night.